We meet again at last. The circle is now complete.
What's the world coming to?
Well, you got a problem with what I did, Anthony?
Oh, no. Hey, no.
Fucking rat anyway. So family's all rats. Would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe it.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
Now you're gonna dig the fucking thing. You're gonna dig the hole. You're gonna do it. I got no fucking line. You're gonna do it.
Yes, I'll take the fucking hole. I don't give a fuck.
I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was pure and simply evil.
Jesus Christ. Mister, you okay in there?
Let's visit coffees around here someplace.
Have you any idea what the cost of your actions is? What their effect might be? Or you to give them hope? What do you give them? We give them happiness. And they give us authority. Groovy.
What's going on, everyone? It's Bob with Cinephellas, and this is episode 123 of the Cinephella podcast. In this episode, I sit down and talk with Corinna Faith about her new movie, The Power. I talk about her inspiration for it, and even what part of British history I did not know, and thanks to her, now I will never get it out of my head. So sit back, play, and enjoy. Hi, Corinna. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I can't complain. It's kind of a nice day out today. I suppose that helps out a little. I got to watch The Power last night, so I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. So I know back in '07 you got the BAFTA for Care, which I actually took a moment to watch, and I have to say, you seem to like psychological thrillers and horrors. Has this always been one of your favorite genres?
Yeah, it has actually, and it isn't just horror. It's anything that's kind of psychologically intense. I'm often drawn to.
I was going to say because, watching it, I there was a lot of eerie elements. Plus, they say you learn something new every day, and I actually had to go down a rabbit hole to figure out to learn what the cuts were and the coal miner thing with Thatcher's government. Like that was actually really interesting. I mean, I'm from the Chicagoland area in the States, so
right. Kind of been a bit forgotten here as well.
Got me really interesting because as soon as they mentioned the cuts in the movie, I kind of sat and I was like, I don't know what that is. So I paused the movie and I read real quick so I knew exactly what it was, so nothing was lost on me. It was a really interesting concept. I had never heard of it before, and it plays in very well into this afraid of the dark kind of psychological thing. This setting and everything like that, did you always want it in the hospital, or did you ever jumble around a couple different locations story-wise?
I knew that I wanted to write a ghost story, and I was looking for kind of territory that felt strong enough. And I'm interested in 70s horror, so I was kind of thinking about that era, but then there was a lot of stuff horribly in the press at the time about institutional abuse scandals that have been covered up for decades, often emanating from around that time, that were emerging. So that kept me in that area because I thought that was a strong territory to write about, and that I personally found very horrific. And then one of these particular big stories was in a hospital, so I was thinking about that world, and then I came across some images of the blackouts, which were so much about that time, but also so much felt like they could have been a kind of Victorian Gothic images from a more kind of classic ghostly setting. So I just loved how all those things collided, and that was the beginning of it, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something creepy about an old hospital, let alone an older hospital in the dark and everything like that. Now, as a director, you got to obviously go and find locations and all that. Was this how fast did you look at this set before you're like, yeah, no, this is where we're shooting?
We looked for a couple of years, actually, while we were pulling the money together for the film. And we were really struggling to find somewhere. We saw this building was actually the very first place that I saw but a lot of it was still a working hospital, and I just wasn't confident with the space that was on offer that we could get the scale that I wanted to create for the story. And then just before the shoot, when we were really wondering what we were going to do, they closed down the rest of the hospital, so we had access to all of it and were able to create just what we wanted within the space. And it's an amazing building with a huge amount of atmosphere of its own and a huge amount of history, so it was perfect for us.
Now, when it comes to casting, I mean, it's funny that, you know, two of the leads almost came from Rain. I have to say, I thought Rose Williams was fantastic. Was that always, was she your first choice? Not first choice, but I mean, you had to have had your pick of the kids here. It was quite straightforward casting process in that as soon as I saw a little clip of Rose and then got to meet her in person, which was really important for me to do, I just wanted to see how we would get on a personal level. It was clear that she was going to be able to bring a huge amount to it. So yeah, it was a bit of a no-brainer, really. Yeah, she played the innocent, the very soft-spoken. Like it was great casting because that's exactly what you want in that role. Because you know we're dealing with stuff. And also, Charlie Corrica really. I didn't see that. You know, he actually does very well. There's that smooth transition. He had a really hard job. I mean, because he has to tell quite a big story with very few scenes. It was very challenging for him, so I think he did an amazing job in the end. I have to admit, don't worry, this will come out after this is streaming and everything, but once he takes off the glasses, it was a nice transformation because for some reason, as soon as those glasses came up, it was almost like a different individual. You know, he played it so well, and like even you knew that what was happening, and you get down there and all that, and as soon as he takes off the glasses, for some reason, I was like, oh, it's almost like a totally different power here. Yeah, it's like a demasking, isn't it? And yeah, I mean, Charlie put a lot of thought into the layers that character had on to disguise who he really is in that place. So yeah, he's an incredibly thoughtful, clever actor. And it's funny because it almost pulls a parallel because I see a little Henry Cavill type thing with the structure and whatnot. So it's funny, like Clark Kent takes off his glasses, he becomes Superman. You know, he takes off the glasses and it's not quite the same, but it just kind of made me laugh. I was like, oh man, that's kind of right there. Yeah, that's true. So now this is going to be a Shudder exclusive and everything like that. Are you excited about the streaming aspect and everything like that? Like I said, I saw Care. Yeah. And are you excited for Shudder to be able to show this? Yeah, I mean it's had its Shudder release, so it's been doing well on that platform. But I'm excited for people who maybe don't reach for Shudder to be able to find it as well. And I always made it with a wider audience in mind who may not think that they love horror, but hopefully would enjoy this. Yeah, now, I called it psychological horror, but in my mind, there's like 85 different like subgenres when you come to psychological. Yeah. And especially something where you're constantly, for some reason, thinking you can look beyond the darkness when you're watching it because you want to see what they're trying to make out. It's really good. And I mean, that's good. Yeah. So, I mean, BAFTA award winner, you have a movie out on Shudder. I mean, is there any new project, like, you're giving people the hint of, like I said, with Care, which I'll tell people about to Moon. I thought it was fantastic. Is there a next project coming up that you're excited about or something that you're hoping comes soon? I'm just about to start writing my next horror, which is around the territory of motherhood and is more a take on kind of demon subgenre. So I'm excited to get started on that. Well, that sounds fantastic. I'll make sure I put down that the listeners can follow you at Corinna Faith. and that the power comes out on Shudder. Thank you so much for taking your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this interview. As Logan always says, cheers.